my friends, and welcome back into another Monday here at Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the Prime, we're going to talk about a wild day one of NFL free agency as we saw some big-time names going to some new cities and some new players signing new contracts here today. Actually, technically, they can't sign those contracts until the 13th. They could just agree in principle, blah, blah, blah. But we had some notable moves. I'm David Hupp, and there's my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Happy Monday, TJ. How are you?
It's Monday.
So you're doing great, right?
It's Monday, David.
Let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just start talking about some notable moves, and then we'll kind of break down some stuff that happened between now and since yesterday and today. Let's talk about some old news. Let's talk first of all at the quarterback position. Let's talk about Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh. $1.25 million, I think, is the contract, as he still will get all that money from the Denver Broncos. What do you think about Russell Wilson's fit in Pittsburgh and just that deal in general?
Well, you go where you're wanted. You go where you're respected. I don't see Mike Tomlin pulling the stuff that Sean Payton pulled. Just basically openly trashing Russell Wilson this past offseason. And once again, Russell Wilson wasn't even all that bad. Like, he didn't throw double-digit interceptions this past season. He still threw for over 3,000 yards. And obviously, if you're Pittsburgh, the guys that you have aren't it. Like, even as bad, quote unquote, bad as Russell Wilson has been, he's still better than whatever the hell was on the roster that played quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's not like this is a Pittsburgh Steelers that's deprived of weapons. They have weapons, and damn good ones at that. Like, they look around their division and they see they see what they got to compete against.
Yeah, so it's a gauntlet there in the AFC North with that division there. From there, yeah, I actually really like the Russell Wilson signing. I think as you're Pittsburgh, you get this a 1-year try. I think there's an opt out after the next season. It's only a 1-year deal, so you can have Kenny Pickett sit, and you don't have to necessarily draft a quarterback. It does kind of screw the Bears a little bit here because all the teams that kind of quote unquote needed a quarterback. I guess we'll talk about them at a later date, but like the teams that they would like link to for trading Justin Fields, if they were going to do that list of teams have gotten real short now with the Raiders, signing Gardner Minshew.
You can still trade for Justin Fields. I'm not trying to hear that shit. It's Gardner Minshew.
Hey man, I thought you like Gardner Minshew. I'm just kidding. I
can like him all I want. Like, it's still the truth. Like, Gardner Minshew was no one's QB of the future. If he was, he'd still be in Jacksonville.
I agree with you on that. But yeah, I think this is a good move for Pittsburgh. Speaking of a team that's kind of feels like they're a quarterback away from being really competitive, let's talk about Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. One of the more shocking moves of the entire day. He was always sort of linked to Atlanta, but I never actually thought he would leave Minnesota. Minnesota's probably hitting the reset button here on this franchise. I'm not sure what that means for everybody else on their roster.
Quarterbacks on their roster: Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall.
But he gets 4 years, $180 million. 100 of that is fully guaranteed. What do we think about Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta? And do you think this is the quarterback they've needed for what feels like several years now?
This is the only thing I'm not liking about it, besides the money, is you're 36 years old and you're coming off an Achilles tear. Like, That's tough. And I understand that even though Kirk Cousins is not the most mobile of quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins is not going to hurt you with his legs. If he does, hey, please run. Please run, Kirk Cousins. I want you to run. 4 years, 100. Like, Kirk Cousins is a professional bag getter. That's all I know about.
Yeah, no kidding, man. The amount of guaranteed money that he's gotten over the course of his career.
Like, I looked it up, man. Like, that man has earned $231.6 million over the course of however long he's been an NFL quarterback. And you got to keep in mind, like, he was really the first one to like, hey, we're gonna tag you, we're gonna tag you again, and we're gonna tag you again. And every time he was tagged, whatever the median is between the highest paid and the lowest paid, whatever that middle number is, that's what Kirk Cousins was getting. So these were not small contracts
No,
by any
he's
stretch.
gotten paid a lot of money in his NFL career. That's for sure. Because his agent should be one of the best. Whoever his agent is,
Whoever his agent is, right?
yeah,
Obviously, like if you're Atlanta, Raheem Morris said it in his presser. Like if we had better quarterback play, we wouldn't be where we are. Like we wouldn't be where we are now. And no disrespect to Desmond Ritter or Taylor Heineke, whatever the fuck his name is. It's true. Like if you guys played better, Arthur Smith still has a job. You guys are probably talked about as, you know, favorites, contenders in the NFC. Because you again, this is a team that's it's not like they're moribund of weapons. They have weapons and a lot of good ones. They're not utilizing them right. Like Kyle Pitts has all the skill sets of a Cole Kmet, and we see Kyle Pitts maybe have 2 touchdowns a year. Like Julio Jones used to go through the same thing. It's like Julio Jones will have 1,000 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like how do you not get the ball to your best offensive weapon?
yeah.
Yeah, it's hey, Kirk Cousins, professional bag. Get the bag until nobody wants to give you the bag. Like, bro, seriously.
From there, let's swing back into the backfield, the other side. Let's talk about some notable running backs getting themselves some paydays. Josh Jacobs ends up in Green Bay. Saquon Barkley ends up with the Philadelphia Eagles. Tony Pollard signs a 3-year deal to go to the Tennessee Titans. DeAndre Swift signs a 3-year deal to come here to Chicago. And Devin Singletary, he signs a 3-year deal to go become the Giants running back. Gus Edwards goes to the Chargers. Austin Eckler is now a Washington Commander. Just all those running backs, getting lengthy long-term deals. What are your thoughts on those deals right there for those running backs?
Going again, it's not about being free. I feel like these moves that are made, these were not about going where you're free. These are not moves about being free. These are 100% moves about, hey, I'm going where I'm appreciated. Saquon Bart, like first off, go to hell, Tiki Barber. You a lame ass nigga. You lame. You are so lame, bro. Like it's never that serious for you to be like, hey, you're dead to me. Like, dude, you're the one who retired in the middle of a contract, middle of your prime, and then the team that you left went on to win 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're just mad because you missed out on the wave. But Saquon literally he responded and said, I went where I got more guaranteed money up front, more money than the Giants ever gave him. And he's back home. Like this is a PA kid. He's back home. He went to Penn State. He's back home. Josh Jacobs, same thing. He said every time a player leaves in free agency, they question our loyalty and all this other stuff. When are we going to start questioning the team's loyalty?
I mean,
to the player.
I mean, they put the franchise tag on you. Refuse to really put another extension on me. I'm going to go where I can get more long-term money. I don't necessarily love the Josh Jacobs signing because I just don't think he's a better player than Aaron Jones at this point of his career. I know he's 3 years younger, but like to basically swap out Jacobs for Jones, like I'm not sure that's I'm not sure that's an upgrade.
And I'm sorry, Izzy, but that Jones Jacobs tandem lasted 10 minutes, bro.
10 minutes. Aaron Jones is on the way out of there. He's a really good running back.
Which is surprising. Like if I'm Dallas, oh my God. If I'm Dallas, please do Jerry Jones, do the right thing and sign Aaron Jones. Like, come on.
I like the idea of DeAndre Swift in Chicago. I think he's an immediate upgrade.
Another situation, right? Like Jason Kelsey said it. He hated the fact, he apologized to DeAndre Swift every time. Like every time they got to like something short, first and short, third, like especially in the goal line situations. Hey, brotherly shove. That took X amount of many touchdowns away from DeAndre Swift.
Yep. Devin Singletary coming off a really strong season there in Houston. He goes to Giants to basically be the Saquon Barkley replacement. Tony Pollard, 3 years. I think it's $30 million or $24 million.
He goes back home too.
Yeah, I mean, running backs. I mean, Austin Eckler, his number hasn't been released on what the actual amount is, but 2 years. I think I can't remember what the I don't remember what the exact number was. Gus Edwards, all he does is get touchdowns. The Gus bus goes to Chargers. Running backs did a good job in free agency the first day. Got paid, and a lot of them went to places I didn't expect.
Yeah, I'm real curious as to where Derrick Henry goes now.
Me too. I think we'll probably see that over the next couple of days. Gabe Davis. Well, swinging into the wide receiver class. The only one I really want to talk about is Gabe Davis. He gets a 3-year contract from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He basically becomes the Calvin Ridley replacement because I do not think he'll be back in Jacksonville. What do we think about Gabe Davis and his fit there with the Jaguars?
Meh. It's probably no disrespect to Gabe Davis, but there's no Stephon Diggs in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, no, there's not.
So you're going to Jacksonville where more than likely more responsibility is going.
I mean, they're going to be expecting you to be, wide receiver one, wide receiver. A fringe wide receiver one. I mean, I know they have Kristen Kirk there, but I mean, they're expecting you to be a bona fide 1,000 yards receiving wide receiver at the minimum.
Bro, like they expecting every bit of 80 plus catches, 1,100 yards.
Like that inconsistent play that you showed in Buffalo, where you have games where you just like gangbusters put up crazy numbers and then you just be invisible other games.
Like bro, like
that is not going to be acceptable.
You legit had a game where you went off for 200 plus.
Yeah,
pretty much was your like introduction to like the rest of the NFL world outside of Buffalo, because everybody expects Stephon Diggs to have the gangbuster games, and he does. But like when you lit up the Kansas City Chiefs for 200 plus yards in the manner that you did, it's like, hey, who's this guy? We got to pay attention to this guy now. And yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like I don't know what's going on down there.
Yeah. I know we talked about it a little bit in the group chat. I don't really understand. I guess if you needed a backup quarterback for Trevor Lawrence, but like trading a legitimate fifth round pick, I guess it's more valuable than the player that you'd probably take at that spot. But I just don't understand that trade at all. So
it's exactly that, right? I can't remember who the backup was when Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
Was it? I'm gonna have to look at it. I don't remember his name.
But but that's the point. Like that's kind of the thing. Trevor Lawrence can get away with subpar play because I don't have to worry about so and so taking my job. Mac Jones can now Mac Jones like, hey dude, I can't I was a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. I did go to the playoffs. Just matter of fact, I've been to the playoffs the same amount of times as you have.
Yeah, and I also think that like with Mac Jones on the roster, it gives the Jaguars if they need to sit Trevor Lawrence for a week because he's just banged up. Like it also says hey, we're not fixing this offensive line. Like this offensive line is going to be trash next season too. So Trevor Lawrence, you're probably going to be running for your life a majority of the year. So we're going to need somebody that can at least somewhat be productive. I think CJ Beathard was their backup quarterback last year.
Probably, maybe.
Welcome to the show, Israel Rivera. Welcome to the show, man. Swinging from offense, let's talk about defense. Kristen Wilkins securing the bag with the Las Vegas Raiders as he leads the Miami Dolphins. 4 years, $110 million, 82 of that guaranteed, or 57, sorry.
No.
Yeah, 82 million guaranteed.
Yeah, 82.
83, whatever, rounding.
84 and a half.
Okay.
It's 84 and a half. That's a lot of fucking money. No, that
is a lot of fucking money.
No, like that's the guy that he fits the new identity of the Raiders. Right? Antonio Pierce kind of guy, coachable. That's a solid move. I like that move.
Is he?
for
Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins signing
Yeah.
with who did he sign with again?
The
Oakland,
Las Vegas Raiders.
Vegas.
Oh, the Vegas Raiders. I mean, yeah. I mean, shit. Him and Max Crosby. I mean, I like that move for them. Um, how's that money looking? Is that front loaded, back loaded,
84 and a half guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed?
Mm-hmm.
How old is Christian Wilkins?
28.
No, he's not 30.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I personally think
I feel like it's a lot of money. I feel like it's a lot of money for a 28-year-old.
Not to mention the Raiders. They may think they're not going to be good next season. I just don't probably the next 2 seasons. Like I just don't understand.
It's I don't know what I don't know what to expect from them. Like to your point, David. Like, I don't on a weekly basis.
I know they got Gardner Minshew now, and he's going to be the quarterback of this team. But outside of that,
and according to this one Raider fan, he saw the writing on the wall with Josh Jacobs when Zamir White was going off. I'm like, what is your definition of going off? What was Zamir White doing last season?
Yeah,
that made you feel comfortable with we can lose Josh Jacobs. I'll be fine with it.
Some other players on the defensive side of the ball that got paid. Xavier McKinney goes from the Giants to the Green Bay Packers. He secures a 4-year, $68 million deal. I do not know what the guaranteed money is on that contract, but he's strong safety, 25 years old. It will be 25 by the start of the season. Goes to the Packers.
I like that deal, man, because the Packers really needed a safety. And so, I like that deal because now in the draft, you can focus on getting more depth at the line position, at the offensive tackle position, because you just let go of David Bakhtiari, and you can focus on getting another edge.
And not to mention Darnell Savage is now a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. So I like the fact that we went out and got and I actually mentioned it too when we signed Josh Jacobs, which we paid him $12 million, didn't pay Aaron Jones at $11 million. But anyways, I still like that signing, whatever, if they can, figure out if they keep both. But I like the signing just because we needed a safety. We needed a safety. I mean, I'm saying the Packers needed a safety.
No, you said keep both. Keep both
Jacobs if they could keep both, Aaron Jones and
not.
Josh Jacobs.
They already released.
They already released.
They already released Aaron Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
You see that in the group chat? I said that shit lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I kind of figured. I told people they probably wouldn't keep if they're gonna get Jacobs. I see them later on in the draft, maybe drafting a running back like a Blake Corum or whoever's available in the 4th or 5th round. You don't need to keep both of those guys. And Josh Jacobs is younger, so hey.
To the edge rushers, Bryce Huff, who had a breakout season with the New York Jets. He's now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's 26 years old by the time the season starts. He gets the 3-year, $51 million. He's coming off a 10-sack season for the New York Jets. You always worry about a guy who pops off in a contract year, but the Eagles, they needed some fresh blood in that locker room, that's for sure.
Who did you just say? I zoned out. I'm sorry.
Bryce Huff. He's a defensive end. He played for the Jets last season. Double-digit sacks for the first time in his career in a contract year. I would just be cautious of that because, am I going to get double-digit sacks, or did you just do that because you wanted more money? Usually the person that you are before getting paid, before the last year, that's kind of what you tend to be. Yeah, so his career, and he had 2 sacks, 3.5, and then 10, while playing 3 more games and just being on the field and more available. Yeah, it concerns me. I'm not sure he's worth the money that they're going to be paying him. But I think they could have some buyer's remorse at this time next year with that 3-year, $51 million contract.
I'm hoping we're wrong. I want to be wrong.
Yeah, true. Looking at some other defensive players that got contracts and got paid here a little bit. We got Geno Stone, 2 years, $14 million. He goes from one AFC North team to another AFC North team, from Baltimore to the Cincinnati Bengals. He was one of those guys that I thought he was going to get more money than this and more years. I'm a little bit surprised. He's 25. He'll be 25 when the season starts. He was one of the youngest free agents available in this class.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. What position is he?
He's a safety, strong
Mm-hmm.
safety. He had like 8 sacks. He had 8 picks last year.
Yeah,
There's a lot of household. There's a lot of guys that got some decent money that aren't really household names that had per se one good season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that stuff doesn't usually work out that well. So yeah. I mean,
yeah, so some of these guys, I'm wondering like, like they just get throwing money out here, bro. You know what I mean?
Hey, man,
what I do like? I do like that Jonathan Grenard though.
All this other stuff.
I think he's a good football player. I just don't understand what Minnesota's doing. Like if they're going to be rebuilding this team, like why sign?
He got a lot of money too, $84 million.
Yeah. I don't understand.
I mean, Daniel Hunter is what,
He's a free agent too. He probably won't even back. He's not going to be back.
Right?
Yeah, he's not going to be back on this team. So
yeah, so
I mean, Jonathan Grenard is another guy. I mean, he has 12 and a half sacks in a contract year. He had 1, 8, and 1.5 3 seasons prior to that.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is one year hit wonders, man. They're getting the bag this year. This is man. These NFL owners are real generous this year.
The salary cap did jump by like $30 million.
That's what I'm saying. The salary cap, like they got the money to not
throw it around to anybody.
I'm gonna say not play around with, but they got the money.
Yeah.
They say,
From the noticeable moves, let's just talk about moves in general. Let's talk about what's your best move so far as we move into first day of the free agency. Best move.
It's got to be for me. It's got to be Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. Like I think out of all the deals so far today, that's the I think that's the one where you're definitely going to get the ROI, return on investment. Obviously, some non-free agency moves like the Bears keeping Jalen Johnson. Hey, David, I thought he was going to get tagged and traded.
I was wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong.
He's gonna, yeah. He said Jalen Johnson was going to get like transition tagged and traded.
I am allowed to be wrong on occasion.
Not on that. Like, no, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Like, just the best move. Yeah. Oh, and all the running backs that got paid. All the running backs that got banked. Because like that now resets the market, sort of to say, like this notion of running backs aren't valued. That shit just got tossed out the window, especially when you see the money that a guy with an injury history like Saquon Barkley just got.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs, 4 years, $48 million, coming off a down year. That's pretty solid money.
It's pretty solid. That's solid.
My best move, I got to go with Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. I know it's a risk if you're Atlanta because of coming off that Achilles tear, but they've basically been a quarterback away
for a couple seasons
for a while now, and we hope that adding Kirk Cousins to this team solves a lot of those issues.
It's high. It's a high risk, high reward situation. Like obviously, like he's gonna be the best quarterback you've had since Matt Ryan walked out that door, right?
Yep.
And if Kirk Cousins comes in, like I don't even know what to expect with him, bro. Like, hey, bro, give me 3,800. You don't even got to throw for a full 4,000. Give me 3,800. And
I think he's gonna throw for 4,000 yards probably.
I mean, like I'm just saying though, because like again, you know how I feel about that first year off of an injury. Like you're rehabbing. You're not training. You're rehabbing. So like, and you're 36 years old. So everything, according to you, on the wrong side of 30, everything hurts a little bit more every day, and it takes a little bit out of you. I don't mind that. Like, I think the one thing that they're going to get with Kirk Cousins that they didn't get with the other quarterbacks is Kirk doesn't turn the ball over that much. You ever notice that Kirk Cousins doesn't turn the ball over that much? I don't hate the fact that you chose that as your best move.
I mean, yeah, there are some other moves I like too, but like I like the Kirk Cousins move to Atlanta. Izzy.
He's going. Izzy had to check out. I forgot. I think he has some technical stuff.
Oh, okay, let's talk about worst move on the opposite side of this. For me, person.
He's back.
Yeah, hello?
Anyways.
Yeah,
hey.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm losing connection, man, on my phone.
No, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, where we at? Best value?
Best move. Yeah, best move.
Best move.
Oh, best move. I like that that pickup the Texans made.
Which one?
With the linebacker.
Hold on.
Alshire.
Okay.
Who?
Is your Alshire who played for the 49ers?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I like that move. I like that move, man. He the 5th most tackles in the league. I like that move.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good move for them.
Yeah, signed a 3-year, $34 million. I don't remember where he played last season. He may have been a Titan.
Azeez Al-Shahir. Oh,
yeah, he had the 5th most tackles in the league.
Who did we play?
I mean,
he was a Titan last year. Look at me.
That one, I like that. I like Saquon Barkley, to the Eagles as well. Shame on you, Tiki Barber.
I said same thing.
Yeah, shame on you, Tiki Barber. I actually like DeAndre Swift to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I love that move, actually. I mean, a lot of people don't, for some reason.
I haven't really seen a lot of.
For some reason, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, why are we gonna get Swift when we got Khalil Herbert? Oh, we can go get a running back in the draft." Yada yada yada. I'm like, dude, did you guys see how decimated at one point you guys were tossing out a fullback there.
Yeah, it's true.
Running back.
I mean, running backs get hurt, and DeAndre Swift is a better running back than Khalil Herbert.
Than anybody that's and hopefully they can find a way to maybe keep Dante Foreman, because I mean he's just solid as they come.
That guy will be a free agent until some other running back gets hurt during the season. Then they'll sign him. Like that's exactly what's going to happen.
What's it called? I had to thought right there, and I lost. I hate that.
I also really like the Michael Pittman. Like, you could not allow that guy to make free agency, so you had to give him the franchise tag, and then you give him a 3-year deal, $70 million. Like, he's too valuable to this franchise. I kind of like the 2 other quarterbacks that got signed, the more notable names, Russell Wilson to the Steelers, and I kind of low-key like Gardner Minshew to the Raiders. I think he's going to start for them potentially.
I think it depends on what they do in the draft. What they pick, 11th, I think.
I thought it was 7. Something like that. It's like late in the top 10 or early in some.
Oh no, never mind. That's wrong. Minnesota's 11th. Denver's 12th.
Yeah,
that's
and that's why I said earlier. I said Minnesota. I mean they have some options. I mean at quarterback. I mean
the Raiders are 13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like Minnesota should I said, hey man, pick up that phone and call Detroit and maybe see if you could get Hendon Hooker, or at 11. I mean, Jaden Daniels ain't falling there.
JJ McCarthy will still probably be there at 11. I mean, you could take
again, bro.
Look, man.
Again, bro. Like
JJ McCarthy.
The whole Hendon Hooker thing. Like,
I think JJ McCarthy might go in the top 10.
The whole Hendon Hooker thing, like, I don't mind that's.
Well, when you look at it, okay.
What's hurt him is like, bro, you came into the league hurt, like,
and the Bears
not a good thing.
And the Bears ain't trading Justin Fields in the division. You know what? If we're gonna talk about a loser here, I mean, on free agency day, or like where does Justin Fields? Where is he?
I kind of brought this up when we first started talking about Corey. I don't have a clue.
Where is he going? Where is he gonna go? Because the Falcons traded for Kirk Cousins. They're not gonna trade him in the division to Minnesota. That's dead. I mean, who's all these teams? The Raiders.
Raiders got Gardner Minshew.
Where's he gonna go?
I don't know. I have
Is he gonna
maybe-
sit?
Okay,
Are you literally gonna do that to that young man and
Izzy,
draft
stop.
Caleb Williams?
Okay,
and
Izzy,
sit?
stop with the Gardner Minshew. Like if the Raiders want, they can still trade. They can
No.
still,
I feel you. I hear you.
they can still trade for Fields, man. Like
And
this.
he like I brought up Gardner Minshew. Man, hold on. Justin Fields is way better than Gardner Minshew.
No,
But like,
that's my point. Like, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
I also think the Justin Fields ceiling is higher than the
I like Gardner.
Minshew.
I like Gardner Minshew too.
All right,
but
so
if Gardner
check it out.
Minshew was a franchise guy, you know what?
He wouldn't be on
Jackson,
he wouldn't be on his fifth team now. So
in like
Yeah,
4
with
years.
Chicago, look on my mock draft. You know, I released the mock draft last week. On my mock draft, I mean, you know, when it comes to need, like Arizona doesn't need a quarterback, LA doesn't need a quarterback, New York may need a quarterback, or they just paid Daniel Jones a lot of money. I think they invest in the offensive line. Tennessee doesn't need a quarterback. Atlanta sure as hell don't need a quarterback anymore. I had Jaden Daniels going there. Chicago with the 9th pick, they're not going to need a quarterback, especially if they get Caleb Williams. So you may see Minnesota. There may be a scenario where maybe Jaden Daniels or Drake May fall at 2-11. Minnesota.
We'll see.
I'd be very
Let's
surprised.
talk about the other side. Let's talk about the worst move in day one. And for me personally, as much as I hate when the Packers get people, but when the Packers get people, it also means that they lose Aaron Jones in the process. And I know they're probably not directly connected, but like,
No, that's a bad move. I don't care what anybody says.
No, it is a bad move, David.
Josh,
great
bringing in Josh Jacobs in and losing Aaron Jones is a terrible move.
and you paid
Aaron-
$1 million. Then
Aaron Jones is a really good running back. I know he's dealt with injuries the last 2 seasons, but Josh Jacobs wasn't really all that good last year. I know like his numbers were down across the board. He got shut down towards the end of the season as well with an injury. But Aaron Jones is a better running back than Josh Jacobs
running back.
today. I do not understand that move at all.
No. First of all, look, as a Packer fan, I agree. Honestly, when I saw them sign him, I said, "Oh, this is gonna be great. They're gonna have both running backs. They're gonna have Aaron Jones and Josh
Same
Jacobs."
thought process. Thought process. Minus
I guess that I didn't know that Aaron Jones got released until the show. Okay, so now I'm shocked. So no, I thought that was a good move, but now that move sucks. Because you paid him one more, you paid him even though he's younger.
You still got the other guy,
AJ Dillon.
Yeah, you still got him.
No, he's a free agent too. He could probably. He's not coming back.
First of all, Aaron Jones. The reason why Aaron Jones is better than Josh Jacobs, not because of his running ability, but his ability to catch out the backfield.
Route running.
Yeah, his route running and his ability to game break and break games. We saw the last 5 games of the season where he was on a complete tear, where he had over 100 yards every game. He single-handedly almost beat the San Francisco 49ers with his running ability. He had over 100 something plus yards, 125 plus yards. What is it, 175 scrimmage yards or something like that against the Niners. So, this is he's a primetime player. Now you could say, oh yeah, he's injury prone, but when he's healthy, he's one of the top, 8 backs, top 7 backs in the league. I don't get him paying Josh Jacobs another, million if you could have kept Aaron Jones for 11. I don't get that. That's just something.
I'm with you.
I don't get that. That is, I didn't like the fact that TJ just broke my heart with that. Release them live, man, because I was happy. I was gonna come on. Yeah, that's the best move of the day. They keep Aaron Jones. That move sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anybody got any other for worst move?
What about Mac Jones to the Jaguars? What the hell?
Like, I already said why that's not the worst move. It's an okay move.
Why is it not the worst move to you?
Because, again, Trevor Lawrence has never had to worry about somebody taking his job.
I don't want to be this guy though, but I don't think Mac Jones is gonna. I don't think he's losing sleep over Mac Jones as a backup quarterback. I'm just saying.
You can say that all you want. Like, hey, if again, we ain't finna act like Trevor Lawrence set the world on fire last year either.
No, he didn't.
Right? Like, didn't the Jags not have a significant, substantial division lead? Didn't they not blow that mug away?
Yeah, they did.
Like, we've seen it all the time. I guarantee you, Vinny Testaverde was not losing sleep over Tom Brady till he got hurt right?
Like talking about Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe, whatever. Not losing.
wrong, old white quarterback.
But the point is still valid. I guarantee you, they were not worried about. He was not worried about Tom Brady till he got hurt, and Tom Brady took that job and never gave it back. You said it, David. If Mac Jones gets hurt again for a substantial amount of time, and Mac Jones comes in and does more than hold the ship afloat, he sails that mark, and it's good. We ain't finna act like they ain't got no conversation to be having in Jacksonville.
I do not think that conversation will happen. If Trevor Lawrence was to get hurt, Mac Jones was the ball out for a few games. As soon as Trevor Lawrence was healthy, he'd be back in the starting lineup.
We'll see.
So, from there, let's talk about best value. I got two. I like the Danico Autry pick to the Houston Texans. He's coming off his best season as an edge rusher, to 11.5 sacks last year. He's never really had less than 7 in the last 3 seasons. Last 4 seasons, actually. He's just a good edge rusher. It seems like a good locker room guy as well. Danico Autry, who is 33 now, will be 34 by the time the season starts. I also loved Geno Stone going to the Cincinnati Bengals. 2 years, $14 million. That is really good value for a safety who's good and basically tries to replace, Jesse Bates and whatever the other guy's name was that they lost last offseason. So,
I think another best value is Kevin Byard to the Bears, 2 years, replaces Eddie Jackson, gets out of Philly, which again I just think Philly has tried this whole dream team thing twice, and it hasn't worked, man. Like people got to stop with the whole hey, just because a team throws a bunch of names together, that don't mean it's gonna work, bro. Like it got ugly for Philly real quick down the stretch.
Kevin Byard, 2 years, $15 million for the Chicago.
Right. Like he graded well. For the analytical people out there, he graded pretty well last season, which was higher than Eddie Jackson. That was kind of like again the writing on the wall that Eddie Jackson was pretty much out of here. And you can still draft a safety or free safety and like sit them, learn the position, learn the business, all that other good stuff.
I mean, there's not that many people that are better to learn from than Kevin Byard. At one point, he was in the conversation with the top safety in the NFL.
Yeah,
I like Austin Eckler. 2 years.
I like that, but I feel like he could have got more. I definitely feel like he could have got more money.
What is it? 2 years, $17 million? Is that what?
No, it's 2 years, $11 million.
Yeah, he for sure could have got more money.
That's a hell of a value for.
It's a really good vid for the Washington Commanders, who also lost Antonio Gibson too. But like Austin Eckler gives you something that Brian Robinson doesn't. Like he's a little bit better, like a pass catching running back out of the backfield. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they ran a lot of multi sets with both those guys in the field on the same time.
Now you just got to figure out. I mean, I was looking at the Commanders. What they lose 8 straight to end the season.
Yeah,
they just got to figure out what they're gonna do. Because coming towards the draft, you figure out what you're gonna do. If you're gonna go with Marvin Harrison Jr., you're gonna go with a quarterback, or you're gonna roll the dice.
They're taking a quarterback. Let's be honest. They're gonna be rolling out another North Carolina quarterback next season. From the best value, let's talk about worst value. I know we talked about running backs getting paid and how excited we were for that. I just don't really like the Tony Pollard contract in Tennessee. 3 years, $24 million, $8 million a year. If I was Tennessee, I probably would have just rebuilt this team from the ground up, and I wouldn't have brought in another free agents running back. Just doesn't make a lot of sense. So. Tony Pollard wasn't good last year.
Building from the ground up kind of does involve free agency work. Like it ain't like it's $8 million a year, and if it doesn't work out, he's probably gone after 2.
Yeah, maybe. I just personally don't like it. So,
what about worst value? What about Robert Hunt Robert Hunt to the Carolina
100
Panthers.
million,
5
$110
years,
$100 million.
$63 million guaranteed, and he
See,
was pretty average at the guard position when you
This
look
the
at his
question we
win
got
rate.
to ask. This the
Robert
question.
Hunt is a massive human being. Like,
This the question we really got to ask. Worst value for who? Because hey, I'm not turning down 100 mil. Like,
Oh,
what?
not for Robert Hunt. Worst value for the Carolina Panthers.
make
Like,
that money, yeah.
he when you look at his like pass block win rate and his run block win rate, it was average among all guards in the league. So
It's Devin, to me, it's probably Devin Singletary to the Giants, because why would you not want to stay loyal to the guy that was really the only thing watchable about your offense outside of a guy named Odell Beckham for the past handful of years? Like, why would you not take care of that guy? And like that's why bad teams or mediocre teams stay mediocre, because they do stuff like that.
Then to the final, let's talk about most shocking signing. If you had to say what was your most shocking when you saw it going through your news feed, what was you like? Oh, you're like, whoa, most shocking.
Kirk Cousins.
Probably that one, yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I didn't even remotely fathom that the Packers were going to be in the market for a new running back. I thought they were pretty good at that position. I was pretty shocked when I read Josh Jacobs going to the
I got to say
Packers.
Kirk Cousins and Saquon Barkley. If Saquon going to the Eagles is just like a gut punch to the New
It's
York
like,
Giants.
yeah, not only am I leaving, y'all gonna see me twice a year, and I'm gonna make y'all life a living hell.
Oh man, he gonna really make him life a living hell, man.
Poor Christian Simpson. Poor Christian.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for real, man.
They did this to themselves. Let's talk a little. Let's talk about free
At least they got Brian Burns though.
They did. They gave him a second-round pick and a third, and they paid him $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about which free agency will have the biggest impact next season. Give me a name.
Leonard Floyd in San Francisco.
I'm going Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. I think he's based on the contract and the value. Biggest impact.
It's such an underrated deal, man.
Biggest impact. He's cheap as hell. It's just good business.
That don't count though. That's an obvious one. No, I'm just talking shit. I mean, like him. I still like the Leonard Floyd when Kirk in Atlanta. Like, again, quarterback away for ever since what's his name, Matt Ryan left. They got the weapons to be successful.
Can I make a prediction?
No, I'm just playing.
No. Can I make a prediction of who's gonna go where and who might have a a decent time?
Go ahead.
Anywhere Derrick Henry may go, and I'm gonna say this: Derrick Henry to the Cowboys.
That's not being talked about. Derrick Henry to the Ravens is though.
Is it?
Yes.
That would be awesome too. If Derrick Henry goes to the Ravens, let me get that.
And they lost Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. It's a free
Let
agent.
me get that.
So
if he goes to the Cowboys or the Ravens,
I'm predicting Aaron Jones to the Cowboys.
Man, can you imagine you get to tear up Jerry World 8 times a year?
He's my God.
Hey, he a Texas kid. He went to UTEP.
He's a Cowboys guy.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys guy. Like, again, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Just do the right thing. Another prediction. Since that's the direction we're going.
No, because I just honestly, I was gonna say, like, come on, like, I don't really, Saquon's gonna do, I think Saquon is gonna have an impact in Philly a little bit, but I'm not really too in love with a lot of these picks. I think Kirk Cousins probably gonna have the most impact because Atlanta's dreadful at quarterback.
I'm gonna predict Connor Williams either to the Eagles or the Bears, they both have massive needs at center. Like they both have massive holes at the center position. And Bears fans the Bears only have 5 picks. Shut up. Majority of team building is done during free agency.
Yep.
So when you sign guys in free agency, that means you don't really have to draft at that position. Like the Bears lost
Joe
Justin
Mixon
Jones.
just got released.
Let's through the last thing.
What was that?
Joe Mixon just got released.
Wow.
I saw that coming. I think it was only a
Breaking
matter of time.
effing news. I did not see that coming. Me personally.
Buyer's remorse. So there will be some teams that look back on this free agency and they're going to wish they hadn't spent that money there. What teams do you think will have some buyer's remorse after this season?
One of the guys that you mentioned earlier, the guy that had like 10.5 sacks in one season.
Bryce Huff.
Vikings.
Yeah.
John Gennard.
No, Bryce Huff. Where he signed? Philly.
Remember the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, definitely him. Definitely.
I'm going Josh Jacobs for the Green Bay Packers. I'm also kind of hoping that works out this way. I'm a little bit of a hater, but I had Josh Jacobs on my fantasy team. TJ, you know what to do. Fantasy, and Josh Jacobs was just not good last season.
It was
Like,
dreadful.
I know they had a bad offensive line and like all this other stuff, but like Josh Jacobs wasn't good last year, and I just don't understand why you would make him your feature back and get rid of Aaron Jones. It's just head scratching as hell. I also think Gabe Davis the Jacksonville Jaguars could have some buyer's remorse on Gabe Davis too.
I honestly didn't get that because you already have you already had a slew of wide receivers there already.
I mean,
Right?
not really.
Calvin really.
Calvin's a free. Yeah, he's a free agent. They're probably not going to re-sign him, or else they got to give up a second-round pick.
That's true. What about Christian Kirk? They just gave him. I mean,
2 years ago.
Damn.
damn, baby.
I mean, they got Zay
Ball
Jones.
sack. Just because he busts his ball sack don't mean he ain't a good wide receiver anymore.
He is still good. I don't understand that move. Like Gabe Davis is not a number one, and you're paying him number one kind of money or like fringe,
Yeah, he's 100% a fringe.
I'm not paying $100 million for a guard.
So you're saying
I'm sorry.
they gave big money.
An idiot. I'm not paying $100 million for a freaking guard, bro.
They gave big money to another person too. Oh, let me find it. The Seahawks
I'm paying $100 million to a tackle.
Seahawks
If you would have saved some of that money for like Tyron Smith or something, I would have,
I'm not signing Tyron because of the injury
not for
history.
$100 million, but I'm saying,
I'm not giving.
Yeah, they didn't sign anybody else. So Troy Hill 1 year deal.
Okay, no,
Johnson,
somebody left. That's my phone.
I mean, they lost Brian Burns, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. If you had to just real quick winner, real quick loser, and then we'll kind of wrap up the show here today for our day one of recap of a wild day of NFL free agency. Who do you got as a winner?
You know what? I like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a winner for me is the Pittsburgh Steelers getting Russell Wilson. That's so underrated. I heard that you mentioned it earlier. That is such an underrated signing right there because that just adds stability at the quarterback position. They had inconsistency obviously the last 2 years. You have a budding star wide receiver. You have two good wide receivers, really, and both of them could stretch the field. Which what does Russell Wilson do? Best throw the deep ball, right? You have a good tight end. Russell Wilson's going to throw it to him. You have a good running back, a decent offensive line, good defense. All you needed was a quarterback, really, to be that stern stick for the cup. And I think Russell Wilson, with Mike Tomlin, I think that's super underrated, man. Watch out, Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
A winner, I mean, outside of losing Saquon, Muggs can argue that the Giants are a winner. You get Devin Singletary, you trade for Brian Burns. What else did you do? What else? I was just looking at it. Trade for Brian. Yeah, you get Brian Burns.
They got John Runyon in free agency from the Green Bay Packers. Signed Jermaine Element Moore, swing tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, you boast the O line, which has been an issue, right? So you get Giant. Yeah, like I guess you could say the Giants. I know a lot of people aren't. I know a lot of people aren't happy about the Saquons. Like former teammate Jabril Peppers was like, bro, they never really appreciated you there anyway. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I kind of like what the Los Angeles Rams did. You know, giving Kevin Dotson, getting Jonah Jackson from the Detroit Lions. On the other side, losers. I kind of talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the show, but I think the Chicago Bears are a fringe loser because of the way everything else unfolded. I'm just not sure what you're doing now with Justin Fields, and it just seems really messy and complicated. I think that's you got to call a spade a spade, and need to say that's kind of a loss. I also think Green Bay is a loser too, along with Minnesota. Everyone in the NFC North besides the Lions.
keeping
Losers.
keeping Justin Fields is a losing situation.
I mean, if you're going to draft a quarterback, I don't think you can.
Who's to say they're going to draft a quarterback? We don't.
Okay.
We legit don't know what the hell's
You're
going
right.
to happen.
You're right. We don't know. But if you're not going to take a quarterback with the first overall pick, you have to trade it away.
No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't.
It's too valuable not to trade it if you're not taking a quarterback. It's just
No, it's not.
It is. It
Stop
is. It's too.
this.
What do you suggest that that they trade who in the top 5 has 2 picks? Is it Arizona or is it
Arizona does have, but they're not going to trade.
Arizona has 2 picks?
Yeah, they do, but they're not trading up.
But they don't need the number 1 overall pick. You know, if they're going to trade, they're going to trade down. It's either going to be, it's probably going to be Washington or New England. But yeah, I
they
mean,
really don't have to because they can literally spend.
man, just I can't I can't wait to the draft. This whole thing with Justin Fields is over.
I agree with you.
Figure out what it is.
What's so wrong with them saying we're keeping Fields? We're keeping the number 1 overall pick, and we're going to draft Marvin Harrison.
Okay,
I personally just it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think
if you're not going to take a quarterback, you hang that Caleb Williams chip out there, and you make a team bite on it. You force them to trade with you. If you trade back with 2 to Washington Commanders, or even to 3 with New England, you're still going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. It makes you have to. If you're not going to take a quarterback, you have to trade it.
Maserati Marv, baby. I'm telling you, man. I think that's the best. Man, that is the best. That's the best move for them. But anyways, honestly, this is the one thing about Justin Fields, Jay Fields, and I said it. It's like if you don't draft the quarterback, you don't draft Caleb Williams. You're that the fan base. Not saying you, TJ, but the fan base is gonna get restless if Justin Fields has another bad year and Caleb Williams, it becomes this generational quarterback, which we don't know he is going to be. We're just assuming. We're just projecting. It's gonna be another like, damn, we let another one go. We let our Patrick Mahomes go. You know what I mean? Which we didn't know that Patrick Mahomes was gonna be Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you.
We didn't know that. So that's hindsight.
Everybody swears they love Patrick Mahomes coming out of the draft. It's like everybody was talking about Baker Mayfield for 2 straight years in that conference.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you just want it to be over. Whoever the quarterback is, if they get a rookie, if they keep Fields, it's arguably the best roster either one will ever have. Right, like when you really think about it, like I wish this was the roster Fields inherited when he initially took over. Like I wish that was the case, but it's not. And we see it all the time. Like these quarterbacks get handed the worst hands. They get handed the worst decks. And why can't you win? Like, dude, you gave me a card full of 2s and expected me to beat Royal Flushes. How? It doesn't happen.
I don't know where he's ending up.
It doesn't happen.
I mean, we'll see. I'm just at this point. I'm ready. I'm sure Justin Fields and everyone else is too for this. All this Justin Fields quarterback situation conversation just be over. But we'll see. You guys got any other losers? Because
any other losers? Can we? Like, I mean, you said Green Bay. I don't hate that. Hey, Kirk Cousins is
The Giants got to be some losers. Well, and not in a way, but they're losers, winners, and losers. Because I mean, you lose Saquon Barkley to your rival. It's just,
yeah, that's tough.
that's tough, bro. That's real tough, bro.
That's tough. That's tough. I think Detroit's a loser. Like, bro, like, yeah, you got what's his name from Tampa, Carlton Davis. Yeah, Carlton. But for you to lose Jonah Jackson off that offensive line, that's massive. Like, one of the most attractive things about you is that offensive line. And Lions fans are
going. Luckily, they were able to keep Grant Glasgow, but
like I guess that's the situation they were put in. It's like, hey, we're losing one, but we ain't losing both.
100%. But yeah, this has been our day one recap of NFL free agency. We'll see what ends up happening over the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for all that content. I'm David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
Bring the heat, baby.
Heat.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe out there. Peace out.